Hello and welcome. I have a couple of seriously cool cars in the shop today, and I thought you guys could come along with me on a few test drives that I'm doing. So we have an '08 BMW M3 V8 manual transmission with a 6-speed, I believe. And yeah, let's do a little bit of a walk around. So you can see the hotness. It has some springs in it. I believe they're H&R, which raise it just, or lower it just slightly. I think it cuts the gap in the front, which is always needed on BMWs. A luxurious interior, as always. But my money's on the 4-door. I think the 4-doors look right. Won't you agree? I like the taillights on the 4 doors. Yeah, so let's get our ass in the car and have some fun. Okay, so here we are inside the M3, and yes, it has a nice interior. I think it's a little cramped for the size of the car. It's a big car, but it's alright. It's not bad. It has a little spot for the key here and a push button start, which it automatically does once you press it in. Really cool gauges. Turn the headlights on. HIDs, all the cool stuff. Alright, so off we go. Safety first. And let's just go down the street real quick. And I will come back and test drive this in a second. Another dark colored car. A front wheel drive Acura RSX. And it's not a Type S, so I'm really wondering how I'm going to feel about that car. This car is all class, makes a lot of noises, it's really fast. It kind of actually keeps me on edge a little bit. Like if you want to drive it slow, you can, you know, almost calmly cruise around in it, and it's cool as hell. You'll always be able to go fast at any moment. God, the seat bolsters are just perfect. But the 4 doors, I don't know, I think the steering ratio is just a little bit more mundane and easier to drive. Because the steering is super quick. It's almost too quick. It puts me on edge really easily, and I think that's a BMW trait, is like the gas pedal, the range is very short. The steering, the range is very quick. I think they do that to elevate the sportiness of the car. But in my mind, that just makes it more, I don't know, kind of hard to be comfortable in. He's got some winter tires on this thing, and they are just perfect for this weather. You didn't have to do that. I know I'm driving a BMW, but you didn't have to get out of my way. I do appreciate it. But, yeah, let's turn around quickly and then I guess do some more full throttle action. Looks like the clutch I put in is working great. Wow, super high RPM, red line in this car, which is always where it's at. Okay, now we don't need to go causing a tear, so we're gonna calm down. And yeah, the car is very civilized. Big bulge in the hood. Uh-oh. Excuse me. Unnecessary bulge in the hood. But if you did put individual throttle bodies on top of that V8, that hood will come in handy. That must be the most heavenly sound in the world. Oh, the exhaust does sound good. Let's roll down the back windows and do that again. Oh, the air pulse, terrible. Car will always get your attention. The thing I like about these cars is that, yeah, they're fun and they're quick. But also, a lady would love to be in this car, I feel like. I don't know, I'm not a lady. But I would feel good about picking up a lady in this car, I guess I would say. Which is a little ridiculous, I do understand that, but nonetheless is true. Alright, now, I always have been a big Honda fan. Never a big fan of these necessarily, because they're not double wishbone suspension. They have a strut type in the front, independent rear. I always thought they were sexy though. Good looking cars. The right size. But the Integras that they replaced, I would put those old school ones ahead of this anytime. And for another major reason is because the interiors I was never impressed with, but this one actually has a black dash, which you don't see very often. All the cars that come in through me, or ones that I've seen on the streets, have like beige and stuff, and they're just not that good. But look at these sporty seats. So it's all black interior, and that is nice. Got a nice steering wheel. Some gauges. Very standard stuff. Red dials. Red lights too. Wow, listen to that. Nothing impressive, but a textured dash, which is kind of strange, but you know, it's cheap but functional. That's what I've always liked about Hondas. And the seating arrangement is not bad. The shifter is also a cable type. They went from a mechanical to a cable, so it's not as satisfying, but all right, let's strap up and go for a ride. Okay, now it's not a Type S, so don't expect, you know, the thrill of a lifetime, but let's just get an impression real quick. And I gotta say, the interior actually feels more spacious than the BMW for some reason. I don't know if it's the floor space over there, or the A-pillar design, or the dash, but it just feels more comfortable for some reason. I mean, my legs have a place to go. A few other reasons, but all right. I'm biased though. I mean, I'm stuck in the 90s when it comes to Japanese cars, and this is, you know, a newer one, but they're growing on me. The more spacious interiors, the quieter sound. You know, I like the there's my 93 tag. I like old stuff like that. It's lightweight. Yeah, makes exciting noises. It's actually pretty fun. Does it have an intake or something? I don't know, but it's easy to get comfortable in something like this. And I'm just used to them. I don't know. I've grown to love a front-wheel drive car. It's not fast by any stretch of the imagination, but I don't know, it's responsive and fun, and I like being an underdog a little bit. The suspension is not on par with the M3, but another thing to be said is that you can floor this car and get away with it. Like, I still feel under very much good control while still driving the car hard. With the M3, you get into trouble quickly because you're moving. You're getting places. You're doing things. Like, you can't get away with as much. So maybe that has a lot to do with it. I bet you can get these cars for pretty cheap now too, which is another big. And see, the steering wheel is thinner, like this part here. Nice design. Nice big mirrors, I can see stuff. All right, let's floor it. Oh, son, look out! Here I come. Oh, slow it down, slow it down. No. it wants more. It wants us to change lanes. Look out, off camber corner. Whatever. So yeah, floaty suspension, very floaty. It's all stock and it's not a Type S, so what can be said? Look at the chrome ring around here, chrome e-brake. Yeah, so that's the RSX, which I'm going to take another look at because I'm actually semi in the market for something. I do want a truck, but I'm always keeping my radar out for a fun street car that I can get into. But I'm really happy. My customer here, he likes Hondas and stuff, and we were talking about all these cars, and I steered him towards the RSX, you know, for the price for performance. Tough to beat. He got a good one. Very much a fan, but I got some work to do on it, so I think it's a rather interesting comparison to drive these two different cars back to back. You know, one's from Japan and one's from Germany, because the Acura, you know, they've stepped up their game for design wise as far as comfort and you know, just that flair of, you know, you're not driving a college kid's car. It's an Acura, it's an RSX, you know, so it's a sports car. It's not an M3, but it's still very interesting to drive, and I think it has striking lines. It's a good looking car, and so for the M3 you can probably get them for around 30 grand now, that E90. For this you can probably get them for 8 or 9 grand. I'm not quite sure, I haven't seen recently. But you can throw a bunch of money at these and make them as racy as you want, but then you're joining the crowd of you know, everybody else out there that wants to go fast for cheap, or at least look cool. Whereas the BMW just comes cool. You're just kind of cool with them. I mean, I don't fall into that very easily, but I did own one at one time and I did feel very cool. So there's some truth to be told about those cars. And the Acura has a lot to offer as far as dynamic driving. Obviously the M3 takes that up, you know, several notches. But truth be told, this car on the track modified versus that car on the track modified, it's closer than you think. But anyway, let's call it done for this video. Until next time, friends. Peace.